Well, losing a child is hard enough, but for Julie Jones, the death of her son Jason was made far worse. Julie says she was robbed of the opportunity to see him buried. Bad weather before his funeral meant it didn't go to plan, leaving Julie heartbroken.
When I go to this grave, I don't even feel like he's there. I have seen nothing. The last I see my son, I walked away from a coffin.
Mother of 6 Julie Jones is no stranger to grief. She's lost a daughter, a sister, a stepson, and now her eldest, Jason Mitchell.
I was just horrified that this was just all happening again for me.
Jason died at his date's house suddenly on Christmas Day last year. The 32-year-old was a type 1 diabetic, but the cause of his death remains a mystery.
He hadn't even had a life, a proper life. He was just coming out of his shell. He had lost so much in his life and he was just starting to live.
Julie didn't have money for a funeral, but her family helped to give Jason a proper send-off.
The cemetery had organised a funeral plan for me. I would give over $6,000 or whatever it was, and then every month I would have to pay it off.
The service was at Castlebrook Memorial Park in Rouse Hill in Sydney's northwest. The day of the funeral, Julie says the ground was wet, but the rain was clearing.
I see all this mess all over the ground, like things all over the ground, and I don't see any chairs and I don't see any, pergola thing where the actual family sit under that.
Julie says funeral staff from InvoCare told her the burial wouldn't be going ahead as planned.
They just said that the hole was all caved in, that it was all very badly damaged, and it was like, to me, an OH&S for anyone to stand on those grounds because it was so wet. They told me that I could come and stand on the road at 4 o'clock and watch my son be buried.
So Julie says she left and waited at a nearby cafe, but while she was gone, Jason was buried.
I was just in that much grief and so disgusted and couldn't believe. This is horror. This is horrible. Like, you don't do this to someone. This is no respect to the person that's just passed. It's no respect to the family.
How important was it to you to be there when they put Jason in the ground?
I wasn't there when he passed. And not only that, he's my son and I love him. And he deserves for his mum to stand there. Because at the end of the day, I'm his rock, he was my rock. And my son, I don't even know where he fits in this mess.
Julie says the state of her son's grave is also devastating.
You've got the grave that's supposedly beside my son's. There is no grass there, it's all dirt. The headstone has been dislodged, so he hasn't got his headstone there. It's just like he's squashed in there, but my thing is now I feel like he's not in there on his own. He's in there with other people. I don't know where to look. I just look at this mess. It's horrible, I hate it. The money means nothing. I'll never get back what I deserved and what my son deserved in that respect.
Julie says one of the staff tried to ease her pain with the worst possible explanation.
She goes, I stood there for you. I stood there out of respect for you and for your son. As a mother, I watched your son get laid to rest. I turned around to her and I said, what? You stood there and you watched my son get buried. Hang on a second, that's my job. That's my son, this is not your child. She has stolen my last goodbyes, my last time that I'm ever going to see my son. And she will never ever bring that back, never. So now I have to live with that.
All Julie wants now is for Jason to truly rest in peace with his other loved ones who have passed.
I want the grave to look good. I want to be able to go there and know that he's at peace and they're all together.
Castlebrook Memorial Park has agreed to refund the cost of the funeral, provide a plaque for the burial site and offer a memorial service at a later date. The full statement is on our website.